Back in 2009, a quiet Scottish woman walked onto the stage of Britain's Got Talent and changed the world in under 5 minutes. With uncombed hair, modest clothes, and a shy smile, Susan Boyle didn't look like a superstar but the moment she sang "I Dreamed a Dream," the world stood still. In a matter of days, she became a global sensation. But what happened after the spotlight faded? Now, over a decade later, fans are asking, what really happened to Susan Boyle? Well, her story didn't end when the talent show wrapped. In fact, it was just beginning. And what's unfolded since is a roller coaster of fame, heartbreak, health battles, and personal triumphs. After finishing second in the 2009 competition, Susan signed a record deal and released her debut album "I Dreamed a Dream." It became the UK's best-selling debut album of all time and even topped charts in the US practically overnight. She wasn't just famous, she was a phenomenon. But fame came with a heavy price. Behind the scenes, Susan struggled to adjust to her new life. The intense media attention was overwhelming, and she often felt like the world was watching her every move. In those early years, she suffered public meltdowns, canceled interviews, and even checked into clinics for exhaustion and anxiety. The pressure of stardom was a far cry from her quiet life in Blackburn, Scotland. Still, she pushed forward. Over the next decade, Susan released several albums, each one showcasing her incredible voice and resilience. She earned Grammy nominations, sold over 25 million records, and performed for everyone from the Queen of England to the Pope. And yet, despite all this, Susan never let celebrity change who she was. She stayed humble, continued to live in her childhood home, and even took the same bus to town she always had. But then, in 2022, she vanished from the public eye, leaving fans to wonder where she went. The truth was heartbreaking. In 2023, Susan finally revealed she had suffered a minor stroke the year before. It affected her speech and her ability to sing, the very things that had defined her career. For a time, she thought she might never perform again. But Susan Boyle is nothing if not a fighter. She quietly went through months of therapy and vocal training. Determined not to let her voice be silenced, she worked hard to recover, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. "Singing is my life," she said in a rare interview. "It's not just what I do, it's who I am." Then, in a moment that left audiences in tears, she made a surprise return to Britain's Got Talent in 2023, standing once again on the stage where it all began. With emotion in her eyes and fire in her voice, she belted out a song that reminded everyone, Susan Boyle is still here, and stronger than ever. Her comeback wasn't just a performance. It was a statement about courage, survival, and never giving up on yourself, no matter how tough life gets. Today, Susan continues to live quietly in Scotland, surrounded by family, friends, and her cats. She's an advocate for mental health, speaks openly about being diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome in 2012, and supports charities close to her heart. She may not chase the limelight, but the world still watches with admiration. Because Susan Boyle represents something rare in the entertainment world: authenticity. She's never tried to be anything other than herself, and in doing so, she's inspired millions who felt overlooked or underestimated. So, have you heard what happened to Susan Boyle? She defied expectations. She survived fame. She weathered storms. And she came back swinging. In a world full of auto-tuned stars and fast fame, Susan Boyle remains a breath of fresh air. Proof that real talent, paired with heart and humility, can go the distance. She once sang about dreaming a dream. And now, even at 63, she's still dreaming and still singing. And if that doesn't move you, maybe you haven't been listening closely enough.